I invite Clare Melford, the CEO of Global Disinformation Index, to speak.
Thank you very much to the Chair and the Committee for this opportunity. Spring 2024, ahead of the European parliamentary elections, a network of extreme apocalyptic bloggers spread alarmist immigrant-based stories across YouTube, Rumble and TikTok. Their reward? Over €2 million in ad revenue and the election of significantly more far-right MEPs. The CSO Media Matters Europe reported this in June 2024. The Digital Services Act, the DSA, has the tools to prevent this. Articles 34 and 35 require very large online platforms to assess and mitigate systemic risks related to this sort of disinformation. Article 39 mandates ad transparency, and Article 42 establishes transparency reporting obligations. Enforcing these could have allowed earlier detection of coordinated campaigns and the pressure on platforms to stop the algorithmic amplification and monetization of harmful content. December 2024, DFR Lab analysed how coordinated social media campaigns helped fuel independent candidate Călin Georgescu's rise in the Romanian elections. His campaign hashtag amassed over 1 billion views. Telegram served as a hub, amplifying content across multiple platforms, and paid influencers on FameUp promoted his message without disclosure of their payments. This strategy of pro-Georgescu Telegram channels exactly mirrors tactics used by pro-Russian actors in Moldova's elections. Enforcing DSA Articles 34 and 40, requiring VLOPs to mitigate risks to electoral processes and enabling cross-border cooperation, could have flagged and removed such behaviour sooner. Since 2022, EU Disinfo Lab and many other organisations have been reporting on the Russia-linked doppelganger campaign, as we've just heard. Faked versions of trusted European sites, Der Spiegel, Guardian and others, mixing legitimate content copied and then mixed with fabricated pro-Russian narratives to mislead European citizens about the war in Ukraine, all while earning significant ad revenue. The DSA's transparency rules could disrupt such operations. These are just a few examples of the very real harms to European citizens being experienced daily. The CSOs that report this research and expose these harms, and the parts of the DSA which, if robustly enforced, would prevent these harms. All these harms are caused by the weaponization of engagement-driven algorithms for profit or political ends. They undermine our trust in democracy, human rights, and scientific progress. The algorithms that determine what you and I see in our feeds and the associated adverts are being gamed. These algorithms are programmed to select the most engaging content, to keep us there for as long as possible, to ensure we can be shown the maximum number of ads or buy the maximum amount of things. Engagement is highest with polarizing content. Since 2012, when Facebook pioneered the engagement-driven algorithm, the more enraging the content, the more likely it is to get promoted, and the more likely the content creator is to earn ad revenue alongside the social media company. This enragement equals engagement equals ad revenue formula has normalized the extreme and, in effect, chilled the free speech of more moderate citizens. Those who claim we are living in an age of increasing censorship are naming the wrong victim and the wrong perpetrator. It is the algorithm that selects what gets promoted, and it is the more moderate middle who are no longer heard online, for the simple reason their speech is not as profitable. And yet the good news is we in Europe have the weapons in our arsenal to stop this. We have the regulations encoded within the DSA and its associated codes of conduct, which can break the weaponization of engagement-driven algorithms by hostile foreign powers and profiteers. The tech companies have to comply, and the European Commission has to enforce. Reporting from CSOs on VLOP compliance has highlighted inconsistencies. Meta's quarterly transparency reports claimed 90% accuracy in hate speech detection, but did not explain the number. TikTok's September 2024 risk assessment summary contained generalized statements on robust content moderation, but no metrics on prevalence of harmful content or details on algorithmic promotion. The CSO Algo Watch testing revealed TikTok algorithm was 11 times more likely to recommend anti-vaccine content to health-skeptical users, in direct contravention of TikTok's own policy. And the monetization of harmful content continues due to the challenges of an opaque digital advertising system, estimated at 80 billion euros per year. Much of that system is not covered by the DSA. Programmatic digital ad campaigns often run over 40,000 websites, sometimes with the involvement of 50 or more intermediaries, making it challenging for advertisers to know where their ads are appearing. This complexity and opacity can lead to the inadvertent funding of unsuitable and illegal material and has created perfect environments for criminals to siphon off billions in ad fraud. Enforcement by DSCs across the 27 member states is also fragmented, as national capabilities and resources vary greatly. At GDI, we consider 6 areas as key. 1. Standardized investigation protocols to help DSCs identify and address violations efficiently, especially for complex cases. 2. Resource allocation frameworks to ensure DSCs have adequate technical expertise, staff and tools to monitor and enforce compliance. 3. Clear escalation pathways for cross-border cases that require collaboration between DSCs. 4. Transparency requirements for enforcement actions, helping to build the public's trust. 5. Structured engagement with platforms, civil society and academic experts to improve detection and enforcement. And 6. Measurement frameworks to track the enforcement and improve and identify areas for improvement. The DSA is different. It is not like other pieces of service regulation. The online information ecosystem, which it seeks to regulate, is not easily bounded or measured. Instead, it is like the sea for the fish, everything, everywhere, all the time. Regulating the companies that have such huge control over our information space is complex, and by necessity relies on a network of organizations that have the expertise to recognize when the rights of citizens, often vulnerable citizens, are being infringed. This gives CSOs a unique place in the DSA, which is rightly recognized in the Act's text. The CSOs and researchers are the European Union's foot soldiers in the information war. Just as the Russian kinetic war is escalating on the front in Ukraine, necessitating extraordinary measures from Europe's nations to defend their sovereignty, the information war is also accelerating, and this too will require extraordinary measures from those charged with defending Europe's frontline information space. But these CSO foot soldiers are in trouble. They have become the front line. They are under attack. Those who benefit from the unregulated nature of the information space, using it for profit or propaganda, are attacking both the foot soldiers, the CSOs, and the defense shield, the DSA. These attacks, whether internal or external, cynical or misguided, will, if successful, all have the same beneficiary, Russia. 2 urgent steps Europe could take. Firstly, coordinate cross-border enforcement. Disinformation is transnational and requires agile, multi-jurisdictional responses and joint investigative teams and standardized sanctions to prevent illegal content syndication. And 2, formalize the support for the CSO role in DSA enforcement and establish an emergency fund that protects CSOs from baseless lawsuits designed to silence their work. The battle over Europe's information space is real. The tools exist to fight back, but they must be enforced. The EU must ensure that CSOs have the support to continue their portion of this vital work and make the defences in the information war as robust as those required in the real-life war. Thank you.